Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and I know what you're thinking right after seeing the title. When did Bellatrix ever betray Voldemort? That's impossible. Well, I can assure you it's not. She did betray him to an extent when she went behind his back, travelling to Spinner's End with her sister Narcissa in order to seek help from Severus Snape. Believing he was the only person she could trust when it came to Draco's safety, Narcissa sought Snape's aid without the Dark Lord's permission, fearing he would deny her or worse, make things even more difficult for her son. Surprisingly, Bellatrix accompanied her sister against her better judgment and even went a step further by involving herself, as she was the caster of the Unbreakable Vow, despite knowing how much this would have displeased or most likely brought out the Dark Lord's fury. It is betrayal in his eyes and many others. The question I'm going to answer today is why? Why someone as loyal and obsessively devoted as Bellatrix would have even considered to risk getting on the wrong side of Lord Voldemort. Let's continue the video. So, if I told you to handpick just one Death Eater out of them all, one Death Eater that you thought would be even remotely tempted to betray Voldemort, I don't believe that there's a single person who'd say Bellatrix Lestrange. Now, I'm pretty sure I'd find one person in the comment section who'd say, I would have chosen Bellatrix. Yeah, I'm sure you would have, pal. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that Bellatrix is probably best known for her devout loyalty to the Dark Lord. She's so loyal that it actually passes a lot of people by that she did in fact betray Voldemort by aiding her sister. Now, some can argue and say that's not a betrayal, but honestly, do you expect the Dark Lords to turn around and say, hey, you know what, I'm cool with that, it's honestly fine? No, you don't. The whole point of the task was to set Draco up in order to fail. This was to punish him severely or even kill him in order to get to Lucius Malfoy. Now, before we get into that, let's just take a look at Bellatrix for a brief moment, because it's really important to understand just what it meant for her to take such a risk in the first place. This is a woman who openly, publicly stated at her criminal trial that she would happily wait in prison for her master to return. Oh, and the reason she was there in the first place was for torturing two Aurors into insanity while seeking information on her master's whereabouts. She hated half-bloods, muggleborns, and of course muggles themselves, and would have spent her days killing them all for fun, all in the name of Lord Voldemort. The issue with Bellatrix is her obsessive devotion to Voldemort and what she would do in order to please him. In a way, her commitment to him cost her her own identity, as she spent so much time acting in the Dark Lord's name.
You filthy half-blood!
So it comes as a complete surprise when she not only disregarded the orders given to Draco to complete the task himself, but actually accompanied her sister to Spinner's End in order to seek help from Severus Snape. She may have been devoted to Voldemort, but that did not mean she was exempt from his wrath. She knew what he was like, she knew his temper, knew the worst of him. Bellatrix was all too aware of what would happen should the Dark Lord discover that she and Narcissa went to ask for help from Severus Snape in order to make sure Draco was protected, especially when he had given strict orders not to discuss the task with anyone. Bellatrix had even begun teaching Draco occlumency amongst several other dark spells in order to improve his arsenal while shielding his knowledge. Why? Simple. He was her nephew and she loved him. Despite the monster Bellatrix was, she still knew and felt love. She loved her sister Narcissa. They grew up together, shared many memories and moments together. She couldn't switch that off even if she wanted to. Bellatrix at one point cared very much for her other sister Andromeda, but it was a lot easier to hate her because Andromeda did the one thing that infuriated Bellatrix. She was a blood traitor. The mixture of magical and muggle blood sickened Bellatrix to the point that she would turn on family if it came down to it. Narcissa and Draco were no such thing. They were pureblood and proud of it, which means Bellatrix had no motive to ever even consider harming them. It was the one trait that she and her master most certainly did not share. the ability to understand love. Make no mistake, she was also an opportunist, and it was quite clear that she was extremely doubtful of Snape's commitment as a Death Eater. She sought to put Snape under pressure to see if he'd actually buckle, but as we know, Snape's greatest gift was the ability to control and conceal his emotions. Bellatrix knew that the Unbreakable Vow would be the perfect spell that would see a conclusion on everyone's behalf. Let's take a look at it from her way of thinking. She knew that the task was to kill Dumbledore. She knew Draco was assigned to do it. She also knew that he was terrified, even though she pushed him to do it by himself. By suggesting and then casting the Unbreakable Vow, Bellatrix ensured that Snape would have to follow through on his word, or he'd die. Draco would be protected in his moment of need, and the task of Dumbledore's assassination would actually be completed, meaning should the Dark Lord discover what truly went on, at least the end justified the means. Quite clever thinking on her part. Now, I'm sure many of you will disagree with what I'm about to say, and maybe I'm looking into it a little too much, but I feel that Bellatrix risking her master's wrath really shows that despite how cruel and unstable she was, the love for her family still meant more, and in a way complements the overall theme that love conquers all. Love is the most powerful form of magic. It also highlights that Bellatrix is actually able to think for herself, that not everything out of Voldemort's mouth is biblical. She was able to and did make a decision for herself without notifying Voldemort. That to me shows that she can separate duty from family when there's no justifiable reason not to. As I previously mentioned, Bellatrix was happy to kill family members that did not comply with what a pure-blood society required. She killed her niece Nymphadora Tonks, Andromeda's own daughter, for going against everything that the Black family had stood for. It's the one example that actually makes you think, well, okay, Bellatrix is human after all, to an extent. She'll protect those who are worthy of it as long as it does not interfere with Voldemort's campaign or beliefs. Even when it came down to Draco killing Dumbledore, she wouldn't stand for any of the others insulting him for being hesitant. I know this betrayal is not on the level of openly condemning Voldemort and seeing him come to harm. That's something that would never happen on Bellatrix's orders. She'd rather die herself than ever let anything like that happen, if you ask me. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think it was something a little more outside the box because it's not really clear as day to ever think Bellatrix could do anything that would anger her master. As usual guys, if you wish to disagree, you're fully entitled to do so, but do it in the comment section, and if you do agree with me, let me know in the comment section as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever, so please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do, it's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content, so if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.